I'm the pre-sales consultant in Redington Gulf, and I've been working with Splunk since more than 2 years now. So I hope my voice is audible and clear. So we'll be talking about Splunk Enterprise Security, which is an analytics-driven SIEM from Splunk. Before starting into SIEM and SOC operations, we would like to talk about the common security challenges that every SIEM or SOC department faces. Yes, so the most common one is dwell time, and according to the research, we have seen that the median dwell time is around 101 days. So, what is dwell time? It is the time duration in between the first, the evidence of any compromise to the time at which it is detected. So, it's not even the whole incident response time; it's just the time before the incident response starts. So, and it has been seen that it is on an average 101 days, and it can go to up to 2000 days as well in case of an advanced multi-stage attack, commonly known as APT. Yeah. And so that increases a lot of, I would say, overhead when it comes to security incident response workflow. And moreover, even if the organization tries to improve the security posture of an organization by adding more levels of security, more tools, commonly or on an average, there are around 25 to 30 tools that are used by an enterprise to, to improve the security posture of an organization to ensure that the security is up to the mark and best in class. Even that, creates a problem of having silos. When I say silos, it is using multiple technologies, multiple uh, devices, hardware and software to achieve the point. So security, it would be multiple security tools and devices that have different that come from different vendors, and they do the same task of security uh, analytics and uh, threat prevention, etc. Basically, improving the security posture of an organization. So even though you add more tools, you have to compensate on sometimes the speed, sometimes the complexity, and and also here in security analytics, it would be analyzing the data or the findings from all these tools on a single screen, on getting an overall picture of what's happening from all these tools in terms of a security posture. Third, skills. So, if you are aware, security skills or security skill set is the most sought after skill set since a whole decade. And even though organizations they are trying to get more skilled employees, sometimes even their existing skilled employees leave because of these challenges that they face in the area of security analytics. There have been cases where organizations they get new guys or they hire new people, they train them on security in the field of security and security analytics, incident response, etc. And then when they come into the SOC operations, they face the challenges of the dwell time, the tools, and even it's not mentioned here, but sometimes even the alert fatigue. So that is also one of the most common challenges, wherein the SOC team at the layer one level they face around 2,000, 3,000, sometimes even one according to the record or even the research. There are around 1 million security incidents that an enterprise, even an MSSP or could be an MSSP, they face when it comes to alerts and incident response. So a lot of alerts at level one occurred, and due to these challenges, even the skilled employees they don't grow in their career, so they find better opportunities and they move on, and then this reinvents the cycle of training the people from scratch. And when it comes to scalability, it all sums up. So if you have a huge enterprise with multiple data sources like thousands of security devices, IT devices, a whole data center, a lot of servers and storages, the amount of events or the data to analyze it is huge. It's not just in GBs, it goes to TBs and petabytes. And there is a use case in Splunk where one of the customers, they are using Splunk for analyzing petabytes of data, around 2 petabytes of data. So when it comes to scalability, all of this is the operations involving manual methods and multiple tools and a lot of time to investigate. It sums up and becomes the biggest challenge. So you need a solution that can overcome this challenge and work together with human expertise and programmatic automation. Moving on to SIEM. Yes, SIEM is the heart of security operations, or is the core of security operations. So SIEM is, if anyone is not aware, SIEM is security information and event management. SIEMs, they analyze security event data, network flow data in real time for threat management, incident response, forensics, and regulatory compliance. So this is the industry standard definition and explanation. So whatever it is said that even if there are some industries like banking, insurance, health, education. Even though you have all the security devices, even all the security tools like firewalls, IPS, endpoint protection, EDRs, you still need to comply with the regulations of the country and even the vertical, education or banking or insurance, to comply with the respective regulatory framework. You need to have a SIEM to. Why do you need a SIEM? Because you need visibility, a 360-degree visibility across your whole organization's security posture. Yeah? So SIEMs help you with analyzing and maintaining security data and security posture. SIEMs are used to monitor and detect attacks. They are used to detect threats and manage the threats and investigate and maintain compliance, SLA as well. So, SIEMs are a powerful tool, but even though they are powerful, there are legacy SIEMs which have a lot of challenges. Because of that, it becomes difficult to install, deploy, and operate a legacy SIEM. So, if you are from security analytics background or SOC operations background, you must be knowing that to run a SOC, it is not just a tool, or it's not just a one-person task. It is a collaboration of tools. It is a collaboration of technologies and even a task of a team. So SIM being the core, it needs to be. It is very important that it should overcome these challenges. While the legacy challenges are the challenges of a legacy SIM are these. A legacy SIEM, mainly it looks only in security data, like firewall or antivirus, not even in the advanced firewalls and EDRs. So this becomes the biggest challenge nowadays. Everything is digital and data is everywhere. All the machines, all the devices, all the users, they communicate digitally. So whatever you see around, in your organization, is relevant to security. Okay? So when it comes to Splunk, we say that all the data that you see in the organization is relevant to security, or all the data is all whole data, machine data is important when it comes to security analytics. So legacy SIEMs fail to analyze all the data types. Secondly, it is not easy to ingest machine data or and the entire organizational data. Uh, Legacy SIEMs fail to easily ingest or flexibly ingest data of all types, even though they have their own connectors. They only support old technologies. And, even if they try to cope with the technology or with the advancement in the technology, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And the customers with their existing legacy SIEM solutions, they either have to put a lot of effort in professional services or in building or development of custom connectors. So integration of of compatibility of connectors to ingest all type of data is limited in legacy SIEMs. They also have slower investigations. So they have usually traditional SIEMs. If you have seen, they used to be hardware based. So they have their own hardware. They have their own computing resources. They have their own database compatibility and storage, all packaged as a solution, as a hardware solution. So this leads to this limits the computing resource power of the solution. So they have a limit of specific amount of GBs, and some of them they don't even go above a TV as well. So because of the hardware and the architecture and even the searching, this approach it causes slow investigations. Sometimes even correlation search takes even hours and even days. A real time correlation search takes in hours and days to complete an incident investigation. So this is not, it becomes a difficult task for legacy SIEMs. Again, in instability and scalability issues. So because of the architecture where they have hardware, limited storage, database, RDBMS, basically, it provides you with limitation of to scale. Yeah, so every database, every hardware and storage has a limited capacity of whatever limit they have in GBs or in TBs. But if the data increases, it becomes either they will have to go for a new hardware or a new model or of the SIM solution. This provides this uh, causes instability and scalability issues, and then end of life or uncertain roadmap. So when these legacy solutions they even try to adopt or compete with the next generation solutions or with advanced analytics driven solutions, they, they they will definitely take a lot of time, a lot of years, I would say, to research and develop a whole new architecture to adopt the advancement. To basically nowadays analytics driven approach is dependent on big data, and they follow big data approach. They follow that framework where the solution that analytics driven solution should provide, which should adopt to the big data approach. So, and that is not possible. Even if it is possible with the traditional vendors, they will take a lot of years uh, you know, to develop a product line, and even they don't have surety that if they will be able to be successful and support that for their customers. And closed ecosystem, yeah, again the limit, like the data types, the integrations with the data sources is also limited when it comes to legacy SIEM solutions. They have they have limited integrations, and custom integrations, like limited integrations as in they only support specific traditional antiviruses, specific traditional firewalls, and specific type of data sources, apart from limited data types. And then when it comes to custom integrations, so you want to collect data from a data source that is not compatible uh, with the traditional legacy SIEM, it needs a lot of development efforts and services, and there's no there's no guarantee that this integration will be successful. So they have, from the build itself, from the design itself, they have limited uh, number of integrations with the different technologies in the market. And even if they try to cope up, it will, compensate on time and efforts, and inflexible deployment options. So when it comes to the, the approach nowadays, it is businesses are moving to cloud. Yeah, sometimes it is public cloud, sometimes it is private cloud, sometimes it is hybrid approach. But these traditional SIEM solutions, they mostly support on-prem deployments, and they are not ready for cloud approach. So due to this, it becomes an inflexible deployment option. Yeah. So these are the legacy SIEM challenges that, because of which you cannot achieve a fully scalable, fully competitive security operations, or fully efficient, I would say, an operationally efficient security operations center. Whereas when it comes to analytics-driven SIEM, it overcomes the challenges of a legacy SIEM, and it tries to address the challenges of a security operations center. Yeah, so it's like it is already evolved to overcome the. It has already evolved and overcome the challenges of the SIEM, and it is looking at a bigger picture of SOC. So it is looking into the challenges of operations, trying to address the operations challenges. And they do analytics driven SIEM. It follows a big data approach wherein it supports scalable architecture. So it doesn't depend upon hardware. It doesn't depend upon a limited storage. It doesn't depend upon a limited schema like database. It supports unlimited data ingestion, support for all data types, support with in terms of integration with all data sources, and it considers all data as security relevant. It basically looks into machine data and follows the big data approach in terms of hardware, in terms of computing. So there is file system in, when it comes to analytics driven SIEM, rather than just an RDBMS. There is no hardware. It makes sure that the solution is scalable, highly scalable, even to the extent of supporting a petabyte or more than petabytes of data. It makes sure that the deployment is flexible, not just on-prem but on cloud and even hybrid. Deployment is supported, and it makes sure that it is better in terms of speed. It is better in terms of instant response time. So mean time to resolution is reduced, and it follows the process thoroughly of a SOC. So wherein you review the security incidents, you determine or you filter the false positives out, and you determine which are the critical incidents, and then you decide what actions should be taken and how to repeat the cycle of filtering and taking action. And then in case of new incidents which are unknown, you basically there's no lack of support in that. You basically customize, act, and adopt in the whole incident response cycle, and it mainly supports all the functions of monitoring, detecting security incidents, providing you with an investigation workbench where the whole SOC team collaborates. When I say collaborate, it is communication. It is using their intelligence, their expertise to work on the incident together, and not just chat or communicate. Use the tools together, dashboards, and the whole uh, all the dashboards and reports and the resources which are provided by the analytics driven SIM to work together and take response, and that too not just manual response but programmatic and automated response. So analytics driven SIM is driven by the analytics, by which is at machine speed, but it is also operated by humans uh, as in stock team. So the solution becomes, it helps you prioritize the incidents, like we said, filter out the false positives, and make sure that you're working on the critical incidents and respond in timely manner. So it makes sure that when you start working on the incidents, it provides you with all the contextual information to identify, what went wrong, and provide you with reduces the mean time to resolution, do the root cause analysis faster, and work on new incidents, or even move to being proactive than just doing incident response to being more proactive like hunting. So it overcomes the challenges of the legacy SIMs, and even it tries to address the challenge of the SOC operations, and even provide you with a better solution when it comes to incident response, so prioritization, working on critical incidents, and that to fast response, reducing the mean time to resolution, and effectively analyze. So it provides with support for more context. So it ingests all the data. It tries to add all the or provide you with all the context to ensure that this is an actual incident rather than just a false positive, and provide you with an effective solution. So from Splunk analytics-driven solution is a combination of two solutions. On the left, you can see Splunk Enterprise Security, and on the right, you can see Splunk User Behavior Analytics. So there are many use cases, security use cases that can be achieved using the Splunk core platform, Splunk Enterprise. So if you guys are new to Splunk, you should know that it is a platform for machine data analytics, and Splunk Core is or Splunk Enterprise is the core platform for machine data analytics. So using that platform, you can analyze any machine data. Or when I say machine data, it could be any data type, from any data source, and in any data volume, in any volume. So, like I said, there are use cases where customers are analyzing around 2 petabytes of data, and they are they have built multiple use cases using just the core platform. So on on Splunk Enterprise, you have multiple free apps that can help you with achieving your security analytics use cases. But but Splunk found out that Splunk Enterprise is being used by not for just machine data analytics, but for also as a SIM. from by few of their customers, and without being without anything paying extra. So they and putting a lot of efforts in. So they basically spent years of efforts, and they developed a solution which they can support in case of any issues. So solutions that the customers built for themselves using Splunk Enterprise platform, and converted that into a SIEM. And that is only supported by the customers. In case of any issues, Splunk will be able to support that. So they took this opportunity and to help the community, their partners and customers, and built a premium app called Splunk Enterprise Security, which is built on the core platform Splunk Enterprise, and which uses machine data and analyzes all the data with the lens of security analytics. So it considers the approach that Splunk Enterprise Security follows is that every data is from any machine is relevant to security. There is something that you can find when it comes to security in any type of data. And so you can see that that's the approach they followed. And using Splunk Enterprise Security, there are multiple SOC solutions. We have thousands of customers which are using Splunk Enterprise Security as analytics-driven SIEM. And it is mainly driven by the SOC team, so it is humanly driven. But we will see what there are a few features that are partially automated. So Splunk Enterprise Security looks into the known security use cases. It collects all the data types, it runs correlation searches, and it provides you with the capability to even look into the raw events and running ad hoc searches. So the correlation searches that are built in, you can also customize them and create your own searches. And it is mainly focusing on known good and known bad. So there are, for example, if there is a rule that detects more than 50 GB of data being transferred over the internet, it's a threat. And if there are multiple failed logs, like more than 10 failed logs within a few seconds, like 5 to 10 seconds, it is a threat. So there are correlation rules and there are pre-built dashboards help you, which help the software to analyze, identify known good and known bad, even report them. And this is at it is more human driven, and even though it is at machine speed. But what about the unknown? So you can say that Splunk Enterprise, it basically differentiates black and white. When you go to from left to right, it is more of coverage of gray area. So Splunk user behavior analytics, it looks into the gray area where there is suspicious activity, or there is confusion of what is happening inside the organization. Are we secure? Are we compliant? And is the security posture compliant when it comes to our internal employees, our internal devices, our internal security? So it looks into more of user and entity behavior. So Splunk user behavior analytics, it came up when there was when Gartner came up with this field of user and entity behavior analytics. So that was a new market sector, quadrant, I would say, or a sector where people were looking for solutions that could analyze user and entity, or user and asset behavior, or how risky is their internal security posture. So Splunk UBA was launched to support this requirement or this use case. So Splunk UBA, it detects it only, it's like it is machine driven, so it is machine learning driven. So it has got algorithms that does advanced maths and identify what is normal and what is anomalous. So it's not magic. It is science and maths. They basically look into the behavior of a user, of an asset, maybe a device, of an application, of a database, of whatever you can see. It's not just a user; it's an entity. So whatever you can see in your organization, it collects data from them, and it understands. It forms a baseline after observing it for a week, and it understands what is normal behavior, and if anything, and what is the variation, and the different variation levels to after which deviation from the normal behavior would be deemed as suspicious or malicious. So it is forming a baseline performing by doing analysis of the behavior for over a period of time, and then using profiling for users and entities to understand what is normal, or what how do they normally behave, and assigning scores to what is normal and what is normal. What is normal. This way, it is completely machine driven, and it helps you with uh, segregating, with looking into the more the gray area and providing you with more of behavioral analytics rather than just known good and known bad. It helps you with to look into the unknown. So Splunk Enterprise Security is the use case based, or or an approach which is use case based, follows analytics driven, or is the analytics driven security from Splunk. It helps you detect advanced threats. It enriches your analytics with full context. So even Splunk Enterprise Security not only integrates with the external threat intel feed, but it also has its own threat intel feed, or threat intel database, not feed. I'm sorry. It has its own threat intel database, which which records the indicators of compromise after every incident response, and it makes sure that so if similar indicators are compromised or observed, or similar behavior is observed in future incidents, it detects and responds. Or it identifies or detects and takes action immediately. So it is enriched with analytics and full context. This makes the investigation faster, and even there is something called a Splunk Enterprise Security Adaptive Response Framework, which is a framework that only focuses on taking response. So you have an incident, you are working on it, you identify, you investigate, and then you want to take action. You can take programmatic actions, but they are not fully fledged, or fully programmatic. So you will have to write the script, take the action. You have to integrate. You will have to integrate Splunk Enterprise Security with the technology to take the action. So they are humanly driven, or they are human and programmatic, partial human and partial programmatic responses that you can take using adaptive response framework. But when it comes to security operations platform, becoming a security operations platform, Splunk Enterprise Security collaborates with UBA, and there is something called as Phantom. It is a full solution, and it is a fully fledged programmatic solution to take to integrate, coordinate with the multiple security technologies and tools that the organizations use for investigation and detection, and response, and basically for every incident take programmatic action using those technologies. Automated response, to keep it short. So Splunk UBA, like we already discussed, it detects unknown threats and anomalous user behavior powered by machine learning. It enhances visibility and advanced threat detection. Yeah, behavior-based threats. It accelerates investigation using because of the machine learning and everything happening at machine speed in analytics. And it is integrated with, it becomes a security operations platform, and it gets integrated with Splunk Enterprise Security, giving the visibility into the unknown, and also with Phantom. So by taking the incident response to the next level of automating it. So Splunk has been the Gartner leader. Okay, I would say leader in the SIEM quadrant in the recent one, as well as since last 6 years. If you want, you can check out the latest Gartner Magic Quadrant for SIEM. Well, moving on to the use cases. So this was all about Splunk. So to summarize it, this was all about legacy SIEMs and the challenges, SOC challenges, and what is analytics-driven SIEM, and how does Splunk provide you with analytics-driven approach. And these are a few of the use cases. So in the beginning, I told you that Splunk Enterprise Security is all of the use case-based approach. It's the analytics-driven SIEM. So it looks into the use cases of the most common ones that come for analysis and security. It has got dashboards and reports that can give you information about the real-time security posture and the controls across your IT resources. Okay, you can stay ahead of the of the compliance or the regulatory authority So you can make sure that the auditors are getting what they want using the dashboards and reports for compliance. And, you can basically pass whatever audit or whatever regulatory framework follow using Splunk Enterprise Security. Then security monitoring, it provides you a dashboard that gives a high level and deep down visibility into the various threat activity in different security domains like like endpoint, like application, network, etc. etc. There are five domains classified by Splunk Enterprise Security that wherein it gives you the number of threats that have been detected based upon the severity, the density, etc., etc. So using security monitoring dashboard, you can be assured, or you can understand what is the overall security posture of your organization in terms of threat. Advanced threat detection. So it has got dashboards and reports that can help you understand what is known. It is already built for known types of threats. It will help you detect, identify what are the compromised hosts, and we will find the activities related to that user and entity, and find out indicators of compromise that have been visible during an incident, and find what impact has happened due to the threat using advanced threat detection. This is investigation and forensic. This is the investigation bench I've been talking about. So this investigation bench helps you look into the different incidents based on the severity. How many incidents are high critical? How many are highly severe? How many are medium severe, and then low and then informational. It gives you even a dashboard for incidents wherein you can use that as a ticketing software, or I would say a help desk, wherein you can work at each analyst can work on each one incident or multiple incidents, or collaborate together and do the root cause analysis and make a forensics report and close it together. So this is the investigation goal. You can also customize it so as per your needs. That is what is a platform or is based on. Incident response. So incident response gives you, visibility into the raw events, so that you can look into the raw events and understand what is happening. So it basically improves whenever you have an advanced threat, and you have an expert who wants to look into the incident. Layer 1 and layer 2 analysts can escalate it, and this response dashboard, and make sure that he's looking at the raw data and doing the full analysis and taking the action. SOC automation is adaptive response framework that we have been talking about. So it helps Splunk Enterprise Security integrate with multiple security technologies like EDR, firewalls, sandboxing technologies, etc., etc., and take programmatic action, but not completely, partially, with the help of the SOC analysts. Whereas when it comes to fully automated SOC, you should integrate Splunk Enterprise Security with Phantom, which is a SOAR solution, security orchestration and automated response solution from Splunk. So moving on to customer successes. Like I said, there are thousands of customers across the globe which are using Splunk Enterprise and Splunk Enterprise Security for security analytics. But there are few which have followed a unique approach, and they have used it for unique use case. So Aflac, which is an insurance company and globally headquartered with around 15,000 employees. In 2016, they used Splunk Enterprise to be the brain of their threat intel framework. So they wanted to, with the growing threat landscape, wherein the attacks and threats were getting advanced and sophisticated and fast. They thought of integrating a lot of threat intel feeds into their SOC, and they used Splunk Enterprise Security to analyze all the threat intel feeds. So They termed Splunk Enterprise Security as the brain in their security nerve center. So, and Splunk Enterprise Security was able to block over 2 million threats and also managed and analyzed the feeds, you know, and enriched the context of the incident with the indicators of compromise from around 20 security technologies. I'm not sure about the exact count, but they formed a threat intel system which integrated multiple threat intel feeds with their SIEM and SOC. And Splunk Enterprise Security was the brain to analyze them. And they even did automated threat hunting and reduced the process by 90%. So it says that the Splunk Enterprise Security was used to analyze a huge amount of data and give you insights with less intent. Nasdaq, which is a global exchange operator company, and it was Splunk for Splunk and UBA for reducing the security investigation time, and they were able to achieve 50% reduction in the overall security investigation. Using Splunk Enterprise Security, they were able to monitor potential security breaches in UBA to detect insider threats and even to speed up the security investigations by about 50%. So Splunk Enterprise Security, like we discussed, it is the analytics-driven SIEM, and it is even proven for security operations. So in short, Splunk Enterprise Security is the analytics-driven SIEM from Splunk, and it becomes a security operations platform when it collaborates with Splunk UBA and Splunk Phantom. UBA being the machine learning-driven uh, user entity behavior solution, and Splunk Phantom being the security orchestration automated response solution. So that was it. And if you want to evaluate Splunk, you can go to the website and try the Splunk Enterprise Security on cloud, free 15-day trial, or even you can reach out to sales team. There is it's not clearly visible, but you can download ebook, the SIM buyer's guide, which helps you understand what kind of environment you have and what kind of use cases you have and what kind of SIM you need. That is it. Thank you. If you have any questions, do let me know, and you can reach out to me in case of any queries. If there is an opportunity and you need an assistance, anything. Okay. So I'm going to close this session. You can reach out to me over email. I hope this session was informative. Thank you.